Discovered in 2861 by amateur explorer Errol Navis, the system that he named after his daughter featured 6 distinctive worlds orbiting a white Type F main sequence star. OSO was quickly set upon by survey teams and corporate groups seeking to lay claim to the latest worlds potentially ripe for terraforming. However, within the year, interests changed dramatically. The discovery of higher life forms on OSO-2 forced the government to issue it protectorate status under the Fair Chance Act. The declaration made the system off-limits for economic development, but some of the less than scrupulous surveying corporations leaked their planetary assessment findings. They attempted to make a case to the UAE Senate that OSO-2 could potentially be terraformed for human habitation without destroying all of the indigenous life. The question of uplifting began to circle the empire. Ultimately, a slim majority of the Senate chose to adhere to the tenets of the Fair Chance Act. They established a permanent garrison near the system's initial jump point to let the species develop without outside interference. Despite this, travel to the system to engage in black market trade opportunities remained significant. The system's first planet is a tidally locked world that features one of the most impressive day and night differences in the explored galaxy. The side locked towards the sun is an endless sea of lava, while the dark side is a stark, black, iron-rich landscape too cold to ever sustain human life. Extensive mineral surveys of OSO-1's night side were conducted before the system was placed under the Fair Chance Act, but little of value was ultimately discovered. Today, the planet is best known for its impressive visual display rather than for anything worth extraction. A lush biosphere with a variety of distinct regions and climates, OSO-2 boasts an increased gravity much higher than Earth's. The planet is mostly known as the home to the most developed primitive species ever encountered by the UAE. Known as Osonians, this multi-limbed race actively communicates with one another using patterned flashes of colour generated by head-mounted chameleon cells. Osonian communication studies are ongoing today, within the limitations of the Fair Chance Act. Beyond the Osonians, the planet is also home to a great deal of lesser species, most of which have evolved to be entirely unlike anything discovered elsewhere to date. Though direct study is a violation of the Fair Chance Act, some scientists are able to receive permission from the UAE to establish off-world research platforms to study the species from a distance. These platforms are carefully supervised and are allowed to operate only for short periods of time. The third planet in the OSO system is a gas giant. OSO-3 began life as a rogue Jupiter that fell into rotation around the system's star. The planet is distinguished by slight green and white colour variations generated by its silicate clouds. From a scientific standpoint, it's frequently cited as evidence to support the theory that gas giants can act as comet shields, which allow higher forms of life to evolve. Unmanned scientific monitoring stations are positioned at the planet's Lagrange points to track and catalogue meteor impacts. OSO-4 is an uninhabited coreless planet that boasts a surface rich in gems and mineral resources that were likely exposed due to some sort of planetary catastrophe. These resources have become an issue for the Army, who has ongoing issues with rogue mining operations dating back to the system's initial discovery. OSO-4 has no atmosphere, and there is an ongoing argument in the scientific community as to whether or not an atmosphere ever existed. Observation Base Chimera is home to OSO's rotating military contingent charged with protecting the system from outside interference. While its intention is noble, the base's effectiveness has been under fire recently as allegations of negligence caused a Senate inquiry into the daily operations of the base. This review revealed consistent average and below average performance reports for nearly all Army personnel assigned to the station, as well as evidence of corruption, bribery, and even extortion. Despite irregular crew rotation, Army station reports have corroborated the Senate's findings and have made public Chimera's internally well-known reputation of hosting burnouts and failures. While the situation says little for the Army's reputation, the Senate report painted a myriad of opportunities for any entrepreneur willing to work outside the law. At any time desired, it was possible to pay off the local crews to avoid interception, visit Oso 2 and escape the system unharmed and unscanned. The effects of this inquiry are still being felt today. The Imperator cited the findings in their decree to High Command to immediately restructure Chimera's operating policy and implement consistent checks from civilian auditors to make sure it was operating ethically. Note that the edict against travel to Oso is actually only enforced against those approaching the inner planets. A high volume of legitimate transports and other ships transit through the system on unrelated routes, to the point that a Kovalex shipping hub was granted a special lease and has been established in the outer reaches. Orbiting far away from the warmth of the sun, ice giant Oso 5 is a churning mass of ammonia vapour, while Oso 6 is a small rocky dwarf planet. The two isolated worlds see more traffic than many of the inner worlds thanks to their distance from Oso 3, making construction of various utility stations a much safer prospect.
Are we alone in the universe? The truth is out there, but what if aliens visit Earth? But they're like monsters, and all they do is look through your internet history, judging you, laughing at you with all their alien friends, watching your every move live, and then they send like 1 million ads to you about alien products that you don't want, like those shoes and socks that have a gap between your big toes. No one needs that. But what you do need is nordvpn.com/BoredGamer, which helps you prevent that happening from the more real threat of humans doing the same. It encrypts your internet connection, hides your IP address and location, it has an inbuilt ad blocker, and also helps you gain access to region-based content. You should go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer and get a big old discount. You can also click the links below. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For August, it's for a Crusader Mercury Star Runner with lifetime insurance. This medium-sized, well-armed cargo and data hauler is great for trying out a huge range of what Star Citizen has to offer, a perfect mission runner ship. To be in for a chance of winning, just comment on any of my videos made during the month. More details in the description below. There are some amazing people that help support the channel by clicking on the join button under my videos and becoming a channel member or becoming a Patreon with the links below. That helps keep the channel going and producing daily content. Please consider joining their ranks, but commenting, liking, subscribing, that all massively helps too. Thanks for watching to the end, and I'll see you in the verse.